Oh.
No. Like.
Yeah.
Two.
We're right. This is May 15th. Episode 2 of the podcast.
Actually, the 14th.
Is it the 14th?
Mhm.
No, it's the 15th.
My watch is
your watch
wrong.
Oh, your watch is
wrong.
empty.
Watch.
This is why you need an Apple Watch, bro.
I didn't update it. Got it.
I'm part of Big Apple Watch or Big Apple.
So that watch is just in the garbage now, right? Get a new one.
I changed it to 16.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
you have to go through all the other ones now and
This
go
one,
back.
this one's pretty fast.
Did I
Okay.
go backwards?
I just moved and hit the mic. Screen. Anyway, Nabil. I want to break this down with you. Oh, also before I should start with, maybe we should introduce who's here.
Well, yeah,
That's your role.
that's your role.
Oh, that's my role.
Yeah.
We're joined by Yassine, first time appearance.
Wow.
Thank you.
I don't think maybe they pick it up. Oh, yeah.
Hello
definitely
to
did.
everyone who's joining in the podcast and tuning in and listening.
You want to introduce
My-
yourself, Yassine? Like,
Yeah, sure. Yeah. X Squad member. We don't have like an order. X Squad member, insert number over here. We don't really have an order of like who joined. It's just like
we're all serial.
Yeah, hierarchy.
we're all just there, you know. But I guess I am the sixth member to be on the podcast, fifth member.
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm the sixth member to be on the podcast because who hasn't been on the podcast yet? Musa and
I think
A.
Musa
No,
has
Musa
been.
has.
Musa has been on the podcast.
Which we're missing
Wow.
a.
It sounds so sad.
That's my bad. No, it's just saying like, I just didn't know. It's just that's telling more of me than it is of anything, if you know what I mean. But
One day or day
Buzz,
you
yeah,
made it.
I made it. But yeah, member of Egg Squad,
Cool.
chilling.
That's like.
How's life? Like, you know.
It's pretty good. I don't know. I don't want to get in like
Well,
what details.
Yeah, no, I know, but you know, like you're living life. You're loving life.
Yeah, no, it's
Hot summer.
yeah, it's pretty good. You know the weather changed pretty quick. I don't know if you guys mentioned that
I think last time
but
it
it
was
was
hot
pretty
outside.
chilly.
Yeah,
you know?
now
It's, like,
we
really
went
hot.
from we had spring for like 1 week and then it just became summer.
Well, I went on a walk actually like yesterday and the week before, and I noticed like everything's blooming so fast. I don't know. I just noticed that everything is blooming.
Spring
really
bloom,
fast.
if you will.
Yeah, but like it's faster than I remembered last year and the year before. And
I
all
noticed
the
it was
years
like not
before.
blooming for like a long time.
Yeah.
Like it was like all of like the leaves didn't bloom for
Yeah.
a long time.
And
It
just
seemed like it
It's just
just
thrilling conversation.
it just
no, but everything is going well. Doing co-op, started work. It's really good.
Nice.
I couldn't be. I guess you could say I couldn't be happier. You know, I'm like
Couldn't be happier.
couldn't be happier.
wow.
I'm
Okay.
content with.
I thought you
where
said
am.
couldn't be happy.
Just it feels surreal. You know, everything is going very well for me.
God's plan.
Yeah,
Like
God's
Drake.
plan, God's whatever God wills, or
So you're saying
Inshallah.
things
the
can't
universe
get
and
better.
its chaos.
What if you won the lottery tomorrow? Would you be happier?
Of course, it wouldn't be.
So you could be happier.
Yeah, but I don't.
Debunked.
So you could be happy like that. That would just increase. I'm already happy. It's just
So
it would
you
increase
could.
it.
Your happiness could be increased, but you couldn't be happier.
So like, what do you want to call happiness? Like I'm content with things. I think that's the word I would use.
Content. Yeah.
So it can only go down.
Can go up.
Could go up
Just
or
like the
down,
$1
or stay the
million,
same.
right? If I won the lottery or however much it was.
What if I gave you $10? Would you be happier?
I
What amount of money?
would
make
give
you
it back to you because that's just very strange. You know, yeah, that's just very strange.
happy?
And
We paid you
also,
$100 to be on this podcast.
you didn't pay me a single dime. All you paid me in was your company, which I appreciate. That's it.
What's worth more, our company or $100?
I feel like it seems on the hot seat right
Yeah.
now. Like,
No,
question. Boom, boom,
obviously,
boom.
obviously $100. What do you think? Of course
$100
not.
would be pretty nice.
Of course not. No. Yeah. Everything is going well. A lot smoother than times before. But yeah. Content with everything. Very
Nice, man.
very very interesting time of my life.
Interesting.
What about you, Aaron? What are you saying? Anything changed since when we recorded last one? Like a week ago? 2 weeks? Time has been flying by.
yeah,
That's
it's
what
been
I will
really-
say.
I do not know. Yeah, time is a blur.
Yeah, big change. I brought my mic this time, so you can hear my
Huge.
voice through my microphone, Isaac's microphone.
That's kind of a big step in the podcast career.
Yep.
Yeah, like in the whole lore, it's gonna be written down. Like when Aaron got like his own mic or brought his own mic for it.
I do have to say, Blue's profiting so much off of us.
I know we should be freaking sponsored by Blue.
Blue
Logitech,
has,
man.
we all have Yetis.
Bro, why do we name drop them? They didn't
I don't have a Yeti.
give us money.
No,
Yeah,
but you have
we
a
all
snowball,
have
no?
Blue.
Yeah, I got.
We'll have Blue.
I don't want to say the.
I want to keep the mic
Oh,
that I have
nice.
a secret. It's like
Yeah.
proprietary
Well, I
information.
kind of just leaked it, so my
Well,
bad.
Well,
Why is it
I could say
proprietary?
this, Yassine. I could cast doubt into the viewer's mind. I can say
True.
that's not true, and then now the viewer's thinking they don't know now.
But maybe I said the truth.
Maybe you
or
lied.
Maybe I didn't. Yeah, that's
This is
true.
misinformation 101.
diffusion tactic.
Just infuse the public with so many different facts that they
What do
don't
you-
know what's real and what's not.
Did you guys talk about misinformation? What do you guys think about it? in general?
I think we talked about it a bit in the last podcast,
Yeah.
like just about like
Yeah,
social media and polarization and such.
social media.
Do you think it's like heavily like misinformation is being heavily emphasized? Because like while there is, division caused by it, there's also like unity in a sense through media. Like I don't know, like we use Discord. That's how we keep ourselves unified.
But
Right.
I feel like Discord, or like when you say misinformation, that's what usually like relate to news. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and news.
info- facts and like stuff like that. Whereas like Discord, it's kind of like
There's
a
some misinformation
communication-
in our server.
I guess yeah. There's like different scales of misinformation.
Yeah.
But is that like misinformation or miscommunication? Because like I'd argue that Discord is used as like a communication tool.
Yeah.
So
I
there
found
could
the
be
name
miscomms.
ironic. Discord.
I know Discord, but it's like meant to be the place where it's you're getting clear audio, clear communication, whatever.
Yeah, I wonder how they came up with that name. But
The origins of Discord actually from a hate speech group. They bonded together through that platform.
really,
Oh.
No, I made that up.
oh
Misinformation.
wow, I
Wow.
fully believed you. I thought it was like a white supremacist like front.
That's okay.
That's interesting. That's like your own
That's a-
bias.
That's a
Well, no, I
Inserting
just
the
believe what
blank.
Aaron said. My trust
Do
in
you
Aaron.
guys
friend.
feel like a responsibility when you're sharing news with people that you're making sure that it's like the right news? You know what I mean? Because like just in that instance there, our guard was let down in a sense because it's Aaron, and we amongst our circle, we'd be like, Aaron is our good friend, like it's a credible source. So then for him to kind of like drop the ball or drop the bomb shell on us that
That was a big bombshell.
that it was actually fake information.
I was like, you got baited.
So like,
Yeah.
but just in everyday conversation when you're trying to like convey sort of like news stories to other people in your life, and just making sure you get their facts right, do you feel like a sense of responsibility trying to keep it right? Or
I mean,
kind
I
of
feel like
like-
in this day and age, anyone could just like fact check anyone very easily. So I don't feel like a responsibility or a burden. I just, if I think it's true, like if I know it's not true, then I wouldn't.
yeah,
Eat
you
it.
wouldn't say it. But like there obviously when
But
you
it's
say
very
there's
easy
some
to fact check.
circumstances where like it just kind of like there's something lost in communication to you, and then when you translate it over to the next person that you want to translate it to, it just happens that they don't get the complete information.
Like the telephone game.
Yeah, telephone, exactly, like the telephone game.
Mm-hmm. Virality.
Because like for me, like obviously like I'll say whatever, and then people can fact check it, right? But like I don't want to be like, I'll be saying something, next thing you know, like I catch myself, I'm like, I'm really just like I really don't know the facts, I'm just like talking out of my ass at some points. So
Our YouTube
Like when you're
comment section, man. They're
Yeah.
ruthless.
Are you talking about when you?
Fact checking
Oh
us?
my goodness, this phone is going off. Sorry about that.
God, you
Yassine
just
just-
threw your phone.
toss his phone in the middle of the room.
No, because I
Closed
just don't want to
captioning.
interrupt the podcast. But yeah, I did. I feel like with friends, like yeah, you do let your guard down in a sense, like Isaac just did. But like,
Now my guard is up high.
That's
higher
Yeah,
than the
now I
ceiling.
have like a
That's how it is.
I
with
don't-
the
I don't
any
think I
of your
can trust
friends. I don't think
anything
we
you guys
really.
say.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like it's like very natural to
Among
do that,
us.
right? Why are you you're gonna permanently fact check your friends? Like
Mhm.
it's you can basically go off your intuition and your general knowledge to be able to be like, yeah, this sounds pretty reasonable, but yeah, there's some things we let slide. All of us do.
There's this one amazing quote I read off this book that I was reading. It's falsehood flies, and then the truth comes limping after it. I feel like that's a very good way to summarize misinformation and finding truth.
Yeah.
Because when there's just
It's
so
like-
much
it's
shit
like,
information
yeah,
there,
clickbait.
it's like there's just too much to even warrant kind of like looking at it to try and find the truth. So that's why truth comes limping after it.
I've told you guys the. Okay, well, that just reminds me of something. I told you guys like the person that I met, let's just say person
Old?
that I knew, older, like no, just like in the past, someone I
Oh.
knew in the past,
I thought you
right?
said they were
that was
old.
more in like I interacted more with in the past. How they just came up to me and like spewed a bunch of misinformation. Like you could tell I don't have to try and fact check them. I just know it's misinformation. There's all these
Was this-
conspiracies about.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I won't
yeah.
dox.
Yeah, no doxing, right?
Just like you won't dox my microphone, right?
Yeah, my bad. That's a different circumstance. But
It's because now we can, if nobody knows our microphones, we can have sponsorship deals. Boom. Gotta think about branding.
boys. True.
That's true.
Keep the doors open.
Anyways, yeah, you can just tell that they were reading a bunch of Facebook articles or they're getting from word of mouth of some random person that also believes in their silliness. And it's just like it's not hard to tell with intuition, I guess, because I don't really necessarily have the facts on what they were talking about at the time. So it was related to COVID. That's what it was related to. If anyone's wondering
feel like
why I'm so ambiguous.
I feel like in this day and age, the only reliable news and sources you can get is from Q. I think that just keeps it real, you know?
Sorry, what's Q?
You know, QAnon?
I don't be memeing. Don't be memeing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's it.
It's been a pretty long
Don't
intro.
be memeing.
Don't be memeing.
Don't be viewing.
Do you not know what QAnon is?
No, I actually don't.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
You should look
Let's
into that. I think you'd find that
indoctrinate
very
you.
interesting.
Have you watched any of the Channel 5 videos? Like he went to like a QAnon.
They're like crazy conspiracy theorists
So
group that are very
I've
From a
watched the
certain
one-
point of
I've
view.
watched the ones you guys
True.
have sent.
from the liberals' point of view.
But it's like it's so like
the QAnon versus
it's so
libtards.
mind numbing that I just don't like continue to watch those.
I love when my mind goes numb. It's
What,
like the best
Channel 5
moment.
videos?
Comfortably
Yeah,
numb.
no, like
Best feeling.
I like his videos, like Andrew
Read
Cullen.
politics.
Is that what you're talking
we
about?
are read
Mhm.
The
politics
Channel 5.
right now.
Okay, yeah, I like the videos, but it just gets a little too obnoxious at one point with the people. That's something I have to deal with on my own, like just separate their existence from my own. Like I'm like I can't believe this.
But also,
exists.
don't you feel it's important to acknowledge them?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you can't just shut out and then otherwise.
Oh
you're gonna
no,
go into,
I
like-
know. I just can't believe it exists. It's very sad how it gets to that.
Yeah, I mean, humans are very self-centered people who think, like, I kind of find it believable. Like, there are trends in the U.S. how like that are certain that are true. Like the American dream, the so-called American dream, is like now dead. Right, like inflation and prices are rising, and like all these lower class, like working class people are like the Rust Belt is like all that industry is like moved out and outsourced, and they see their wealth and like class decreasing, and they are scared and afraid, and who else are they to blame than like the big government, and like they see these conspiracy theories that they latch onto. It would be an interesting case study. Like you can't just dismiss a phenomenon and
Yeah.
say they're
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
they are crazy, definitely.
I'm
some
not
of them.
dismissing it. Yeah, so you're saying all their work is being outsourced. They're losing, their well-being, and so they're looking for someone to blame, right?
Yeah, and then like COVID hit, and then it's just like it's interesting social study.
Yeah, that came up in one of my my research courses. That exact talk about. Well, it's supposed to be why there's no one. Why are there
Or psychology.
Why are there groups of like there's like these towns in America that just don't believe in environmental protection, and they get
Red
the
pill.
same companies that are in those towns are like the ones polluting and destroying their health and then the environment around them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very interesting how they're supporting what's causing their destruction.
But if that's how they make their living, then in the short term, like
yeah, it's a short-term thing, but then at the end of the day, once they've exhausted their resources they need to take from that land, those people don't have anything. And again, like healthcare isn't free there. So garbage situation.
garbage fallen world. That's all I'll say.
Falling garbage world. That's what it is.
How about we shift gears and
I can
Okay.
tell you're rooting to shift gears.
I feel like
I do-
it was a very that was a depressing.
Yeah,
It's
it was-
important to
it's
talk
kind of a-
about. I will say,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like it's interesting, but but
I have a short interlude between
okay.
topics. Do you like that, eh?
Yeah, I like the interlude part, man. That got me.
I really want to hash this out with you, Nabil. Are you scared right now?
Yeah, as soon as you come on, as soon as your words hash it out, like the connotation,
Yeah.
it's like there's something icky sticky that needs to be
Icky Sticky. I like that. Icky.
figured out.
What was
Okay.
that from? Timmy Turner? Icky Vicky or whatever?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Icky
I know there's
Vicky.
a
That was good song.
6ix9ine. Icky sticky, got the icky vicky. I don't even know the lyrics. Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, so time to hash it out. So, when it comes to podcasting, you're a fan. Would you say you're a fan of starting organically and starting pressing the record button like without the other cast members knowing?
Yeah, I'd say so, but like obviously, advertising that like, okay, look, what you're saying now could be on record, and so like people can be on guard in that sense. But like the reason why I am like so pro that approach is because the last podcast episode, I think it worked really well.
Yeah,
Like,
it does work sometimes. Yeah,
it does work, but I
It's
know
just sometimes I'm saying stuff that I don't know is being recorded,
being
and then I
recorded.
could be canceled for years.
But I think
we
that's the
said
thing.
last week you can't get canceled.
I can't.
That's what we thought.
That
last
was our
week.
conclusion.
Yeah, the cancel culture doesn't
They
really
can't keep
exist.
up. Oh,
Can't
yeah,
keep
sure.
up with us, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like off guard and like I don't know.
No, that's totally that makes total sense. Like I can
Yeah.
So you know,
sympathize with
Isaac
that.
says some wild things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are wondering. It's like I can't get canceled because you said it off script. So like, what are you saying?
Notice how Isaac called us cast members and Yassine just said off script. This show, I'm gonna tell you guys, is scripted.
Well,
It's
sorry,
written
off
down,
prompt,
the producers,
off,
like, the
off
producers
what you
making
guys were
announcements or
talking
something.
about, and like, what can I say? Something that's just like not on, I guess, wherever you're publishing this YouTube guidelines. Right?
YouTube, yeah.
Well, no,
Or
it was
even-
joking. I'm not actually saying like
I know.
Thing.
I don't think you are. I know you very well. I hope.
All right, I'm opening the phone, man. We're
Okay.
cracking into some topics
Yeah,
because
sure.
I don't know what else to talk about. Unless, okay, actually, yeah, Aaron, man, propose a topic.
Well, I didn't finish my topic. I had one, but I can save it for another time. Like it's more of a Nabil topic to go off, unless you want to go off on this.
Okay, what is
It's a
it?
what would you say?
It's a topic for you.
It's a topic for me.
Yeah, I feel like you'd enjoy this one.
Damn, like I mean, of course I'm gonna say yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, let's go for it then. So, in the past month, we saw the movie called The Northman, and we were talking about how the main actor, Amleth, or Alexander Skarsgård, was super jacked and ripped for
I
this
can see where
role.
this is going.
And so, I want to ask you what you think of like Hollywood actors using like testosterone and whatnot, and like steroids
And
to like
steroids.
build up their bodies unnaturally for roles.
I mean, my thoughts on it are like whatever they want to do with their body, that's fine. And using steroid use, like personally, like I would not use steroids, right? Like I would be natural, but like using steroids, it should be okay. But the main thing I have an issue with is fake natties. And for those who are not aware of what fake natties are people who say they're natural but are indeed on the juice. And so that's creating like a false perception of like all these people looking up to these Hollywood actors who are absolutely yoked out of their mind and thinking like, oh yeah, like I can get this rip too.
I wonder how
naturally.
common that like Hollywood actors like all those like I wonder if using drugs to get in shape for a movie is common.
Oh, I think
think
it
it
is. Yeah,
is.
it definitely is.
Like that's the thing. It could be damaging because like that's what people see. Like kids watching like.
yeah,
When I was young, I watched Star Wars, and then Anakin was like in a shirtless scene. I'm like, damn, like this guy is.
yeah, he's
I
looking.
mean, he could be like ripped naturally. I don't know, but or even Troy, like Brad Pitt went crazy on steroids for that. Like you see that when you're young, and you're like, damn, like this is
yeah,
possible.
like you don't know
but-
any better because
Yeah.
you just think like,
I
and
feel like it's getting worse too.
especially with like celebrities offering programs. Like
Mhm.
example, Chris Hemsworth, like he has his own thing. It's like it's his own fitness app, whatever. Where he's saying like, yeah, like you can become like as big as me, and like as like yoked as me.
Yeah, that's where it's like unethical.
That's unethical.
I'm
So,
very naive. I didn't even know. Like I did hear about that Chris Hemsworth like workout routine,
Mm-hmm.
It's because I saw like some YouTuber doing the workout with him. I forget completely who it was, but I didn't know he took steroids. And that is very
Like it's
unusual.
just you can see that it's just not possible with like.
Like what do you mean you can see? Like was it?
I'll try to pull up.
I think he means like you can tell when a body's not.
You can tell when a
natural.
body is not natural.
See, that's where I say I'm like naive in that sort of way, because like I'm for the most part I just like believe people.
Yeah. Well,
For that.
one thing I was gonna just mention now is that like another thing is just education on that, to like be kind of telling people and getting people aware that like this is just not possible like naturally, because like again, right, like you have these people like Hollywood actors like going on and getting yoked and like on the juice, but then not disclosing it, and then so it has like that sort of false perception, and then people don't know like what to think of it. But now like you see YouTube channels out there like exposing it and showing that like indeed like no, like these people are like using testosterone.
Wow, that's interesting.
And so like just generally like the awareness behind it, and like letting people know like, okay, if you do want to get to this level of physique, then you know, like that it would be steroids would be the next step. And all another thing too is it's all genetics as well. Like it's just not like naturally some people are made so that their physique can actually get to a point where it's at that, you know, superhero level. But some people just can't because of genetics, and that's just natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because there's like two types of fitness. Well, like, I don't even know if you can call it fitness, but like there's like the aesthetically pleasing to look at fitness, which is not necessarily the healthiest. And then there's like real fitness where like someone's genuinely in shape, but doesn't won't necessarily have like the shredded six pack and like the shredded like
bodybuilding.
And Hollywood usually goes for the aesthetic.
Yeah, you know? Bodybuilding versus kind of like traditional.
Like someone like if you look at like
athletic training.
Yeah, like there's bodybuilders and then there's like athletes, and athlete bodies are nothing like bodybuilder athletes.
I mean, like when I was just thinking of that right now, like you could definitely pull out like some NFL athletes that are like pretty big.
Yeah,
whether or not they're natural too, because like I feel like this is something I'll disclose right now. Like I'm not too knowledgeable on, but like substance use in sports as well, I think is a big thing. And like, because you know how like there's a bunch of, I remember back in my days, man, at school when I'd be in the morning, man, pull up Sportsnet, get the whole news on sports. But sometimes they'd mention like an athlete that would be kind of got caught on a doping test, and it would say like there's like some arbitrary like, or some random, not arbitrary obviously because they have the guidelines, but some random substance that I've never heard before like was found like in that test. And like they have like I think like a whole set of substances that they've banned, you know what I mean? So it's like an active thing where like some things may be allowed and some things aren't allowed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I know there's a lot of like drugs that are allowed, like I'm sure like performance enhancing stuff. Like I know in hockey, I don't know if you've ever seen this on the bench, but like they have like smelling salts.
Oh really?
Where they like open up a pack and then they like smell it like this. I don't know what it does. I think it just like heightens your senses.
It heightens. Yeah, that's what I meant. I think that's a thing people do at the gym too, like when they're lifting, using smelling salts.
And like, I don't know. I'm sure like drugs like a lot of drugs are probably used.
Yeah, like man, there's probably like so many.
Because I know like in the Olympics they test before every event, but in like normal leagues, like I don't know if they do drug testing. Like maybe they just do like random tests.
No, they do like random tests. I remember like it was a Man U game, and then after like Pogba, he had like a sick performance, and then like after the game, like he was walking, and then like some guy on the coaching staff came up to him and said like, oh like you need to test, like because like the I don't know, whatever the testing agency was saying, like they're doing the random selection, and then you know, then so like, you need to test, and then like Pogba was like again, like are you kidding me? So like he had previously been tested like not too long ago, and then like after his like killer performance, they're just like like test. So it's like,
but was he clean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because otherwise we would have heard something. Yeah,
that'd have been tragic.
That'd have been tragic.
That's what you're building up to.
No. I'm pretty sure, but it's just on the topic of kind of like random testing and stuff like that. But yeah, the juice, man. As long as you disclose the juice, I have nothing wrong with it. If you're not disclosing the juice, then
are there aren't there just side effects to taking steroids, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are the long term? Do you know the long term?
I do not know.
Yeah, I thought there was just long-term effects like
I'll come back to you in 2 years.
testosterone change.
After I take the
You
juice.
get like
Long-term
lower
effects.
test.
Yeah,
I'll get back to you after like 60 years. 'Cause
yeah,
I'll
after
start
this-
to
But
see the
yeah,
effects
at
then.
the-
Yeah, there's definitely
no,
like,
there's definitely effects.
models
you're right.
of like how you should look.
Don't
and,
you like balls shrink or something?
Yeah,
Probably.
for some, I think there's different. I know there's like different types. That's all, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm surprised. I was just thinking of one person that was really strong in their like Hollywood. Michael B. Jordan. Remember he was.
Yeah,
great.
he's huge.
Was that a? Do you know if that was someone? I'm just like curious.
If someone,
myself.
if he's like on
I
the
mean,
juice.
Yeah, I want to.
I love- that's another- I love-
You like saying that, eh?
Do you
It's
not
so
come
fun,
down?
man. Fake natties
You
on the
wanna know if
juice.
he's on the juice.
Because I remember seeing him and his trainer talk his trainer talk very proudly about like how he increased his size, like his muscle.
he's pretty
mass.
big.
So like, I don't like making the assumption that oh you're natties or you're not natural
Mhm.
or something or you're steroids. So like, and yeah, I do obviously.
There's some like some of them. There's just like dead giveaways where it's kind of like okay. There's like one guy I watch on YouTube. He kind of like he does like that segment where he'll like take a Hollywood actor and like kind of break down whether or not they're like natural or not. And so like what he'll do is he looks at their kind of like physique over the course of their
Oh, I
acting
think you told me
career.
about this.
Yeah, and like they kind of he analyzes it on that front and based on kind of like
The time period.
the time period and like the time
results.
frame, the reality of like could you build this much mass in this amount of time and like what would it require?
What if they're just built different though?
Well, yeah, I guess that's the thing though,
Some
like
people
genetics.
I just wanted to say that.
But like one example he brought, so like when he did Chris Hemsworth, he did one on Chris Hemsworth, and he was like, he would say like like back then in like his earlier performances, like yeah, like this is when he would be natural for sure, just based on this physique. But then like getting into the Thor era, and then like with this recent Thor Ragnarok, because I was shocked seeing that. His freaking like that post, not post, yeah, the post,
The poster.
on like with the cast. I think it was him and Taika Waititi, and Taika Waititi was wearing kind of like the CGI outfit thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And then it was just like Chris Hemsworth flexing his bicep, and his bicep was absolutely massive. So and he was like, yeah, this is just like ridiculous. But then he would go to someone like Henry Cavill, the Man of Steel, and he would say like, okay, look, like this is his or these are his performances throughout the career and like his build. And like he was saying like he's big, but like you can obviously tell, because one thing is like you can be big, right? But the body fat percentage is like a huge aspect of like being ripped, because obviously lower body fat percentage, like the more your muscles are going to show. So like if you have insane mass and your body fat percentage is like super low, that's like, well, for one, like having a low body fat percentage is like unhealthy, so you can't maintain it for that long. But kind of like you have that low body percentage and then you're just absolutely massive, like that's a tell. So one thing he was saying with Henry Cavill was that like he has mass, like he's big, but you can see that he's not super shredded in some of the things that he does. So he's saying like, no, like this guy is probably an acceptable person, like to be natural.
I wonder if the Northman.
Yeah, I was thinking that in my head too. Like
He was
I
just
wanted
like
to
super
kinda-
chiseled.
But
Yeah, he looked like
Yeah.
a freaking Greek statue.
I'm just
Yeah,
very
he was.
confused because like you're
Literally.
But it was also like kind of the lighting.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like that's another aspect of it as well.
And it
Like
could have been like
lighting and there's
Yeah,
a
like
lot
the,
of
the
different
right
factors.
angles too.
I've seen like these TikTok where like people would use this like I forget white circle light, and there'd just be a dark room, and then they like kind of pull it over themselves, and you could see their muscles, and just like in reality they don't look that like I guess
But with the
bulky.
lighting and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, and also like I don't know. I just searched it up, the Chris Hemsworth, or what's his name, Chris Hemsworth, and I was like, obviously I don't even know these articles, but they said majority of them are saying no. It's like kind of mixed. Like no, he didn't. No, he did. Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
So like that's the thing. It's like all shrouded in mystery. So
But like there was like people saying there's also like he did
If
like,
he is
training with Navy SEALs. That's what he did for one of his training regiments, like an old school style.
But
training.
see, that's what kind of harkens back to what Isaac was talking about with like Navy SEAL training is like that's functional training where you're meant to
Yeah.
be kind of making like conditioning and strength gains. You know, it's
Sounds
not
like
like
an
a
ad
workout
for, like,
meant.
Sounds like an ad for the U.S. Navy. They just
Yeah.
bring these
could be.
actors in.
No, could be.
Coming
Hey,
to
did
the
our
US
training
Navy.
program. You can do that too.
Yeah.
It's like U.S. Air Force sponsoring esports events.
Yeah.
That's where I mean I'm naive. Like I just don't
Yeah.
know
So like,
about this.
you know, like the lay person would see like, oh, Navy SEALs, like, okay, yeah, like, you know, you're gonna
Well, let's go do some Navy
you're gonna
SEALs
be
training
making
tests.
big gains, but like, you know, like there's a bunch of different types of training, and like, when you're training to like look big and look good, you do different types of training.
Yeah.
Eat big, get big. That's all.
Eat
I'll
big,
say.
get big, man. That is
I just
the
think in
motto.
general, like just if you,
Yeah.
I feel like it's it comes down to genetic, comes down to your diet.
There's a lot of factors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it comes
a lot
down
of
to-
factors.
it's-
So
RNG.
There's a
RNG.
lot of things. Your sleep, your mind, your mental state, right?
yeah,
And that's how you can change your body the way you want. Obviously, there's like health conditions, you know, that some people have and they can't.
yeah. That was a good topic, Aaron. I like that a lot.
I had a prep for you.
On a silver platter, man.
Yeah, that was like a spike, and then
That was definitely
Yeah, that was
yeah.
Aaron
that was
the
definitely a
center.
Nabil
I was
Nabil
like-
topic.
maybe it likes male bodies.
But I feel like with that like topic, it kind of like leads into like body image and like male body image stuff, because that's a huge thing, you know. And like, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't get as talked about as much, or amongst men, you know, like you don't typically talk about it. So
Yeah.
but it's an important thing, because you know you don't want people out here like training their ass off and then like possibly like endangering their health just to chase some.
Yeah, it goes
And
back to like what Aaron was
unattainable
saying
dream.
about like unrealistic body standards in Hollywood.
Yeah, and just and like social media, and like you know if you're not freaking looking like a Greek god statue, then you're a
But
lesser
here's the-
person, which
it's-
is not true.
It's interesting because like I feel like in marketing and ads, like more so for female body expectations, it's not 100%, but like we've seen like progress on that front where like they're like showing more realistic bodies in like beauty ads
And
stuff,
different body
and clothing
types,
ads.
right? You know, instead of like the typical.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. That was all I had to
What
say.
do you think about the so like
But, I'm not finished my point.
Oh, sorry about that. No.
But you can I'll say that later. But I feel like in Hollywood, it's going in the opposite direction, where like it's just going more and more into like that insane like, especially with all these superhero movies, like
Mhm.
there's like insane like male bodies, insane female, and like everyone in especially Marvel movies or like basically action movies are like very attractive people,
Mm-hmm.
and not so much like your average looking Joe.
Yeah.
Like this, a perfect example of this is like the original Spider-Man with
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. Like he was just like a normal looking dude,
Yeah.
and now then it morphs into like Holland or whatever his name is.
But
And
actually,
like
okay. Holland is a very good looking guy.
yeah, like I just
Very
feel like
good-looking guy.
like it's just going in the wrong direction in Hollywood.
Mhm. Well, when you talked about that, it reminded me of like the Bob Odenkirk, like John Wick, fake John Wick, but you know what? Have you seen that movie or
No,
heard of it?
I've heard of it. I saw
Oh yes,
commercials.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's like
So, like-
Mr. Nobody or something.
Yeah, nobody. So it's like that's an example of like, or the opposite of what you're saying, where it's like this is actually an instance where I feel like it's actually like someone who would look like your average.
But that was the gimmick of the movie, right?
Yeah, that was the gimmick.
Or
of
one
the
of the
movie,
gimmicks?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Which
like
is
it
like
shouldn't-
that's a good one.
like that's why like people feel so detached from like all these like giant all these like Hollywood movies is
Yeah.
because like I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of shitty.
And it's also
Yeah.
like make a separation between art and reality.
Yeah, that's true. Because then,
Do you feel like it's been getting worse? I feel like it's been like constant. Like there's always like these
I
body
feel
types
like-
of muscular people.
If you look at an action movie from back in the day, like James Bond, you look at old James Bond movies compared to like Daniel Craig's Bond, like the body has changed
mhm.
immeasurably for the
Oh.
male lead, even for the female, I believe too.
yeah, when I think of like I
Yeah,
guess
Daniel Craig's like he got like freaking ripped for that movie.
I was just thinking of like Gladiator, like 2001 that came
We
out.
were just talking
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
Russell
okay.
Crowe.
Russell Crowe is. I just don't know the names. That's
Well, like
I miss
the
it.
thing about I feel like with Gladiator, it's like there's an asterisk because like you're trying to look like a gladiator in that film. So
Yeah.
but
they were
I see
big.
the
They
point,
were
yeah.
big, but it's still.
Like, you can definitely see the change. I feel like between back then and then now, like the shift.
Mhm.
So
Especially, I feel like Thor Ragnarok is like the climax of that
the
transition.
apex.
Like he got like so unbelievably yoked for that role. Like, why? Like, there's not really a point.
Yeah.
I think it was to show
Also,
Big Hollywood.
the other example is Chris Pratt with like Jurassic Park. He got super ripped too. Oh, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, he got like literally.
Like he doesn't need to be ripped for that role. Like I don't.
It's just like yeah. It's like if you're in Marvel, you need to be absolutely yoked.
Yeah.
Because same with that guy Kumail Nanjiani, the guy in Eternals.
Yeah.
He'd be freaking shocking his biceps with like electro pads while doing curls.
He did that.
Yeah, yeah. He did like a Men's Health interview where he's like, oh, you know, you can see my workout day, and so he shows the fridge like, oh yeah, you know, I'm drinking beet juice, but then he goes to the gym, and then like one of the workouts his trainer has him on where it's like they take like electric shock pads and they place it on his biceps. And then like he does curls, and then his like trainer would be there, and then he'd activate like the shock at a certain time.
Wouldn't that just make you flex though?
Frig, man.
It's just time. It's like the time under tension thing, right? You're more time under tension. I don't know.
True.
Yeah, man. I guess shock your biceps to get freaking guns.
I just picture him in the gym being like.
That's what they do for physical therapy, right? They shock my
yeah
my muscles a bunch to just make sure they're being used.
Yeah, but I feel like that's backed by science. Do you think anyone's backed bicep shocking?
I feel like it's like there's some.
It's a pseudoscience.
I feel like there's some pseudoscience.
Because it seems believable. Like, oh yeah, like electricity on my biceps when I'm curling.
Yeah,
that sounds like it makes sense.
No, but it causes it to contract, right? So I don't see much. I don't know. But I don't know about lifting while doing that. That's what I don't understand.
I don't know. If anyone's an expert on shocking yourself while doing exercise,
let us
know in the comments.
Because the beet juice, it's like
beet juice, yeah, you know
that increases your endothelial function, right? Just like
damn, that's a big word.
No, like your blood flow increases from beet juice. I don't know if you watch.
Okay,
you watch Game Changers, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not harping on the beet juice. I was trying to say I was trying to get to the.
I know, but they're playing.
You don't want to understand
playing
beet juice.
I was playing on the idea that this guy's I'm apex of health.
Yeah, like that's all they're playing on. But that one's ridiculous, I think.
That's like I feel like that's where you cross the line.
Overboard. Like, can already get.
I feel like with fitness, there's so many like trainers out there who are just like trying things that are not 100% the right thing to do, but they do it anyway.
You have to sell yourself, right?
Yeah.
Competitive market.
What's your niche, man? Is it gonna be electro pads?
Is it gonna be?
Because it gets to a point where like you're doing things that are not healthy, but again, like trading off aesthetic for functionality.
True.
But like there's always a balance with that in terms just like with the aesthetics versus functionality. Like I don't know about like I would want the balance, you know, like strength.
I'm all in on aesthetics.
You're an aesthetic frog.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro.
This is huge opinion right now coming out. It's like I think
hot take.
Hot take. No, it's not even a hot take. It's
huge opinion coming out.
It's like just it's like no. What I'm about to say, disclaimer, is just opinion, right? Okay. Like I think like for you, we were talking about body image, right? And like I'm going more generally now. Like I think like one of the main ways to just like people should view themselves is like increasing range of motion, right? That's like probably one of the most important things, because if you don't have that, like later down the line, you're gonna regret that, and that's just
stretching.
That's
yoga.
just
start doing yoga.
I feel to me that's like a personal truth. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting like a little, or I'm less nimble than I was when I was just a bit younger, and I'm 21, turning 22. So.
Yeah, that's a good topic. Like we're 22 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aaron is the young guy here, man.
Yeah.
21 guy. Too. But like, have you guys felt like?
I started to like groan when I get up now. I'm like,
there's no shot.
I groan every single time.
Oh god.
But is that like?
But I'm just a groaner in general.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, it's your genetics.
Yeah, it's my genes.
It's in your code.
Actually, you know what, Isaac? I'm just waited a second. I need to reflect on it. I think I've grown like when you go for a stretch. Like,
boom.
Yeah, I think everyone does.
It's healthy.
Most people.
But like in other aspects, have you felt like you do something and you're like, man,
Yeah,
I've
I need
noticed
to stretch.
It's not like my 18-year-old body.
I've noticed running is a lot more difficult now. Like I get gassed when that's what I'm afraid. Like we were thinking of like playing soccer and
Yeah.
stuff. And like I think like if we play like my first couple games, I'll be like gassed.
But
Yeah.
that's good. You
That's
shouldn't be
like, but
afraid
that's
of
just
that.
I'm not afraid. I'm just saying. I'm just
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Also, I haven't ran in like a long time.
yeah, me neither. Like,
Like my cardio is low. But recently I've started bouldering. Got a membership.
Nice, yeah, I heard about
Got
that.
the shoes.
you're
going,
all in.
Going every week. And like I like that because it's like
Yeah, it's like a fun type of.
it's a fun workout.
Exercise.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's definitely, I would say, it's a workout.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends, I guess, how hard you go.
Yeah, the thing with bouldering though is like, at least for me, because I'm still starting, is like you reach like a point where like you can't push yourself any longer because your fingers just like get
Yeah, the grip
fucked.
strength.
Yeah, so like you kind of have to stop at a point. Like I feel like when you're at the gym, you can push yourself further.
I see. Like, because is it like a margin of error type thing? Like, if you try and push yourself on the bouldering wall, it could have.
Well, it gets to the point where like you
consequences.
literally can't like hold
Oh.
on anymore because your grip strength's just out and like your muscles are just like zapped.
But couldn't you say like that's still like pushing yourself to the limit in a different way?
I guess so. Yeah.
And maybe it's just
Yeah,
grip strength takes longer to develop.
I know it's something you can't do at the gym necessarily. Like you're gripping these rocks the whole day. You're improving something that you don't really do at the gym that often.
You should get those like resistant trigger things. You know what I'm talking about?
Resistant trigger thing.
Yeah, I know. That's what,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
I've seen those.
Oh, those things. Yeah.
I think they're
For,
called
like-
hand curl.
I think I have
Some of
those.
them are
Hand
like
curlers,
springs.
yeah.
But those are for like your form. Aren't those like your muscles?
Your
But
forearm.
that helps with grip strength
and yeah,
because
you're
anything in your forearm
Yeah.
area, and like using your hands, right?
Wish I had bigger wrists so I can wear more watches.
Same
Let's
here,
like shop
same
for like
here.
smaller watches because you got skinny wrists.
More watches.
When I learned that
You're
like
gonna
for
wear,
some
like-
reason I thought your wrist could grow like the bone size, but no, it's just that's it.
Limb lengthening surgery.
No.
Limb thickening
What do you guys
surgery.
think about like
Is that a
I know
thing?
there's lengthening. I don't know about thickening.
Did I thicken my wrist?
Thicken, man, get on that milk.
Yeah,
Get that
yeah.
calcium. But yeah,
prosthetics are pretty sick. You think we'll have like modified people in the future? What's it called?
Like
Aren't there already
Androids? Is that Android? No, not Android.
android, right? Like a humanoid.
No, a
robot?
human who has robotic prosthetics. What's that called?
Oh, like yeah, I don't know what the name is.
Humans.
Like augmented humans.
Yeah, augmented humans. That's what it is.
Oh yes. Okay. Boom. Augmented limbs become a thing. Like, what's the first? Let's say you need to replace a limb. Like, what's the first or the one you're most excited about getting to have like a bionic limb?
I feel like bionic. That's a good question. Like bionic leg or bionic arm?
It can be anything too.
Well, you
like,
only have two limbs.
no,
Two.
not just limbs. Like bionic, a joint. It could be, or a bionic.
Bionic
hand.
ear.
It's like
Bionic ear.
bionic-
Bionic eyes.
Bionic chin.
Bionic nose.
Bionic. I think I would wait. Because if you only have like one bionic leg,
Okay, yeah.
you would
do
still
wanna-
have one normal leg.
Yeah, it would set you back.
Let's say
no?
they come in pairs. If you have something,
Oh, okay.
But like one bionic arm would be better than one bionic leg because that one
Yeah.
bionic arm you could use to like throw stuff or like.
yeah.
I'm just thinking, would there be any like restrictions, or just be like, no, it's purely advanced, better than your eye, or it's about the same? It doesn't need to get replaced, like
Restrictions with the eye.
like would there be any restrict like, oh, you'd have to replace it every 5 years because something about
Oh, there'd
There's
be
just
like
some
there'd just be a bunch of
restriction
ads
to
that
it.
show up if you don't pay a subscription.
Oh, that's insane. Oh, like
No, I don't know. Let's just say like, yeah, I guess you have to figure out the criteria of like a bionic eye. Like, are we
Am
talking
I able
like
to see
X-ray,
further? Am I
X-ray
able to
vision?
upload
Yeah,
it
bionic
to
eye is
Apple
like super,
Cloud?
yeah.
That's like OP.
Yeah.
One that I've thought of is like bionic joints, specifically bionic knee.
Why not just get the whole bionic leg?
I mean,
I'm
that's
like
true.
the marketing person trying to like.
yeah.
You're trying to upsell me on the
Yeah.
leg. But yeah, I don't know. Bionic, because like the knee, such like a crucial ligament.
Yeah, and
or-
fragile.
Yeah. Also, you gotta think about like when you're old, like what's the first thing to go? Like you're probably like
Yeah,
your legs,
Your
your
knees,
mobility,
your hips.
What about like your organs, like your heart?
Wow,
Or
I never
lungs,
really
or
thought
lungs.
about that. organic.
Like
Yeah,
lots of
bionic
people go
lungs.
out from
If we
heart
make-
attack.
What?
Lots of people go out from heart attack, so if your lung
Lots of
was.
pussies.
Alright. What if in like
You heard
60
it here
years that's how
first.
you go
Hot
out?
take. There it is.
Just eat healthy.
Damn, yeah, that's a whole nother territory. Like bionic.
Well, your
organ.
body starts to deteriorate regardless, like, of your heart. Like, just because your cells have a certain lifespan. So,
Sag.
You have expiry dates.
yep, the telomeres tell it all.
Oh, okay. There's a human expiry date, but would you argue there's also a best before date?
Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say best before is like 70.
70.
70.
Well, yeah.
I'd
I mean,
say,
wouldn't it
Like,
depend?
you're talking about, like,
I feel like best
prosthetics and
before
stuff?
is just like
What?
once you're not able to like you really not your quality. I guess your quality of life is.
Yeah,
very-
that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Your
all
best
right.
before
Do you think
date
it
is
would,
like.
it would happen at 70?
Well, I feel like your 60s, you could still like to get stuff done in your 60s, and then I feel like in your 70s, you're starting to slow down. You know.
Yeah, that's true actually. But like, there's definitely a wide array of like 7-year-olds.
I think that's very humble.
humble.
Like
Humble.
to say, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, it's 70. That's the best before date. Like,
What do you mean?
like, cause best before, you can still like have like food after the best before date, but it'll just be like, expired. Like I'm
Okay,
using this as an
yeah,
analogy.
I
for ourselves.
I thought you were saying
Come on,
like
guys,
food
come on.
versus-
That's like as soon as you hit 70, you cannot.
No,
eat.
like there's some food that will like
yeah.
it's a lie. The best before date is a lie. It's just cause just a general standard, right? But
Liberal
I would say
propaganda.
like around your 50s. I'd say around your
50s.
Yeah,
50s.
yeah, for our
I think like as soon as you retire, it's your best before date because they're trying to milk the best years out of you to be productive and make money.
Freaking government pushing to 65, man.
What do you guys think
Are
about
we talking purely on the physical front, or also like on the mental front?
Both.
Yeah,
It's like they
Well,
want the
that's 65,
extract.
yeah.
They want to juice
Because
you.
I feel like 50 and 60 people are in the prime mental lives of their life, like their prime mental, like they have a whole life of experience, and
But like,
I
are
don't
they
know.
they're
as
very
sharp?
still very no, they're very sound of mind. Most 50 and 60 year olds.
Most.
Yo, dementia only like sets in when you're like 70, 80. Dementia's very sad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think most definitely 50-year-olds are sound of mind. I think my parents are like 50. Well,
Again,
my dad can sometimes
it
be a little
varies.
Willy Wonky, but I'm kidding.
No, that's why I was saying it varies. But I think like saying 70 is a very modest. Like you're being humble. Like, oh, everyone's like good until then. A lot of people croak.
Okay, so
Earlier.
or I'm gonna shift
Yeah.
because
Sure.
based off something you said, where like when you're 50, 60, you're like your mind state is like, what'd you say exactly?
Well, I feel like some people could be in the prime of their mental life.
Yeah, prime of their mental life, right? And so like this begs a question, I was thinking about this I guess like throughout all this crazy shit happening in the world with leaders and how
Mm.
leaders are typically very old. And so
Whack.
Talking about
Exactly.
America here. We're pointing at America.
I mean I guess in Europe there's a lot of more younger
Bro, Europe's whack.
hot take.
Yeah,
Defend your position.
No, I'm totally...
No.
Big
But, like,
apologies to the.
I feel like
European
a lot of
Should there be like a cutoff?
I could finish that thought.
I know already this is like causing like there's a lot of
There's a lot of branches that we can go on.
yeah.
I can just put my Europe is whack thing to rest. here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of North American leaders idolize, especially liberals, idolize Europe as like this great liberal bastion, which they are in their own right. But also, I feel like a lot of, especially Eastern European countries, are quite racist and not very democratic, like not as democratic. And like I feel like the Scandinavian like when people talk about how like great Europe is, they're really just talking about like this
Yeah, the
social
West.
democracy of like Scandinavia and stuff.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean.
Whereas like Europe as a whole is more like
Yeah, people just like kind of like put Europe as like just this giant basket when it's
Yeah.
actually like a bunch of different things.
yeah.
They don't kind of. But on the
The
topic
Balkans,
of
man.
like, Balkans and Baltics, man, I always get them messed up.
There's a lot of there's a lot of race.
Yeah, Eastern Europe is very racist.
I know some Eastern Europe from online Discord actually. They talk about the racism, and you could see like sometimes when they talk,
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah.
They're like, it's very normal for them to be racist, which is not good. It's not good
Yeah.
at all.
Damn.
It's kind of shocking, yeah. The shift.
Anyway, what were you saying, Nabil? I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah, it's just
Derail.
like kind of like no, it's good. It's just on the topic of like when you're saying 50 and 60 is like prime mental years,
Yeah.
but then does that warrant them to be leaders at that time? And should there be a cutoff, let's say? Because okay, let's be honest, man. There's some people who are leaders right now or in a state of like power that are way too old.
I think leadership requires different skills. Whereas what I was talking about, like 50 and 60, is kind of like your life has been more or less, you've had a lot of experience, and like now you can like reflect and travel and do all that stuff and like
Oh,
Truly
I see.
enjoy your life.
Different from
yeah. But like leadership, I think you ideally a bit more younger so you can relate to the average population age better.
mm-hmm.
You need to be like more like accepting of new
More-
thoughts,
more
and ideas.
hip. So to speak.
More hip and more hop.
I
Yeah.
like. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean now with like kind of like 50, 60 on the personal level rather than at the kind of like.
Yeah.
But like 50, 60 also you can think about the academic level. Like, you know, you have people out here writing their PhD or not PhDs, they are PhDs, but writing massive papers that are having huge consequences or contributions rather to like society as a whole with their discoveries and whatnot. You know?
Mhm. Yeah. True.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
No, that's good.
Kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Again, it's like a mix of what Isaac's saying, where it's like they're not mental age. That's not what he was talking about, but like it really relies on their like their wisdom, what they've learned. Like world leaders, especially. I don't really know what it takes to qualify someone as a world leader or like someone who's like a good
Plato's
world
Republic.
leader.
That's all I'll say.
Plato's Republic, sure. We can say that. We can idealize that, and then only thinking about that, because America is built off that. No,
Not even close.
No.
no, it's inspired by that. No,
No.
not even a
Plato's Republic. Well, I don't know if Aaron can explain it better.
Someone's gonna point me out in the comments. I'm afraid.
No one comments
afraid
on
to
our
speak.
video.
No
game.
one's
Don't
gonna
worry,
comment.
Aaron. Cancel
It's-
culture.
yeah.
They can't get us.
Can't get us. The podcast.
It's the same. Well, yeah. It's like from what I understand, it's like three.
It's like a self-boast. Like
I know
Plato
it was
wants
I know
philosopher
Locke,
kings.
Locke came from it, but I'm saying the idea of a republic, right? It was
I mean, look, it's like there's like different. There's a caste system. Like at the very top would be a philosopher king, someone like wise. Like how do you measure wise? How do you?
Case?
Cass. He
Dude, you're getting
you know what
flamed
he's
in the
saying.
comments.
You're not getting flamed. Aaron, you speak your mind. You're like
No, call me out if I mispronounce words.
Okay, caste system, yeah.
Arkansas should be Arkansas.
Facts.
Wait, it's
So-
pronounced Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Wait.
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Oh,
I, see, even when trying to be right, I'm wrong.
That's everyone, man. That's world leaders. That's world leaders too.
What? Arkansas is world leader?
No, I'm saying with the way they speak, right? They speak about topics
Sleepy
like
Joe
the right-
Biden and his
Oh.
liberal parade of liberals.
Okay,
Alright.
well,
Are you a Democratic caucus?
Stroke my hairy leg.
I don't know.
my
Just
little
look at
boy
some
on
of the
my little
speeches
hairy
and
leg.
you worry that is
the.
the. I'm not gonna say the
No, that
hegemonic
quote-
state.
That
but
was.
It's very worrying to see that. I'm sure was semi competent in parts of his life, but
Who are you talking about?
Mr.
Mr. Biden?
Biden.
When he said that quote, Nabil, like what you said?
The Democratic
like,
caucus.
I love kids running up on my lap.
Yeah,
So that-
whenever I hear
touching
that,
my
it's like the
hairs.
Neil deGrasse Tyson like going through light speed like meme where he's like, oh, like
No.
oh my god,
But Yassine, I don't know if the U.S. is based off Plato's Republic.
Definitely
I'm
not.
Pretty sure it was.
Plato's Republic was not a
inspired.
democracy.
Isn't it like a?
No.
I hope I'm talking about the right thing.
Yeah.
You are.
I'm talking about like his like ideal government is like a utopia where like there's three philosopher kings who are like raised in isolation and can never go outside and are like perfect readers and like perfect like sound of mind and like all.
That's kind of like.
Yeah, like studied in arts and math and everything.
Yeah.
The polymath.
Okay.
Polymath. Man,
Alright,
I'd
yeah.
be so sick being a polymath.
Da Vinci.
Who's your favorite polymath?
Da Vinci, man.
Again,
Wow.
Well, you can't go.
Da Vinci's
wrong.
kind of the goat.
That's true. Fun fact, I did a 5th grade project on Da Vinci, and we had to
Oh?
create busts out of paper mache. So I made a
Whoa.
bust
That's sick. You
of Da
still have it?
Vinci. I think I have a picture. I don't know where it is, but when I do find it, I'll send the bust.
Yeah, Da Vinci.
Da Vinci.
But what would the Pythagoreans be considered as polymaths?
Man, I do not know enough about ancient
And,
Greek
like-
polymaths for this discussion.
Like in the day, you knew a lot. Like, it's only like somewhat recently,
Yeah.
in the past 100 years, like science was broken up to biology and like chemistry and physics. Like
It's kind of cringe to do that.
like Plato's school, like science is not taught like that.
What were they called? They were called like natural.
Natural history.
I don't know. They had like a name for themselves, but it was like, yeah, they would study like it would be like physics, art, a bunch of other science.
They'd
like,
also study like music and gymnastics.
yeah, it wouldn't be like disciplines. It would just be like
Gymnastic.
Yeah, that's a big thing I think for Aristotle too. That said like gymnastics are really important. He was like a fit guy.
Yeah, I
he
remember
fought
you
in,
telling
like-
me like
He fought in wars. Like he was a ripped like hoplite.
Interesting.
so
that's dope.
were the Greeks on the juice?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
They
yo,
were
you
on
wanna
their
hear something
juice.
sick?
They were on the ambrosia. That's what they were.
They're on them chia seeds.
Ambrosia
that's what
and
they're on.
nectar.
You want to hear something really metal about the Greeks?
Yeah.
What was they had like this battalion of gay lovers? What was it called?
Oh, that's yeah. I know where that is. The Theban.
Theban League or something?
Is it
Anyway,
the Theban something.
they had like
I'll think of
this.
it.
They had like this unit of like gay lovers who like fought together, and the idea is like they fought harder for like they fought for their lives to protect their like loved one.
Yeah, that's actually sick.
Isn't that kind
That's-
of metal?
that's
The,
metal.
the Sacred Band of Thebes is what they were called.
The sacred
Wow.
band of thieves. Wow.
And I think Socrates had like a lover. I forget his name. But yeah, they said like he was like he experienced that because like he had this lover and then he had to like fight extra hard, you know, to like impress them.
Mm.
Also, like in their culture, like you'd have like a mentor in a way, and yeah, that's kind of what Socrates was to this kid. And this kid turned out to be pretty awful, I think. Yeah, I'm forgetting
Uh-oh.
his name. But
Socrates.
yeah, it's like really interesting.
Wait, wasn't Socrates like the hobo dude?
You're thinking of Diogenes?
Yeah, Diogenes. That's
Wasn't
who
Socrates like on the street and like
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
hated him?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, both of them.
Okay.
Like Diogenes, like lived in like a box, and
And he would do public
Hey, don't we all?
displays of, you know.
When you say a ball,
Yeah.
I just think of like just a cart.
You know the Squidward? Squidward like living in the box.
Oh yeah, with,
Yeah.
like the.
But what was that like one? There was this one thing with Diogenes where who was it? Was it
Alexander?
Alexander?
yeah, it's like
There's a witty
Alexander.
comment he made.
Alexander goes up to him and
It's
he
like-
says, "If I were not Alexander, I would be Diogenes." Diogenes says, "If I were not Diogenes, I'd also want to be Diogenes."
True.
And then he said, "Move! You're stepping in my light or
Oh
something."
yeah, it's a you're blocking the sun.
Yeah, he's literally
Wait, who said that?
Diogenes to
Alexander. Speaking of leaders, Alexander was 19 years old. when
Wait,
it
yeah,
started
he's-
popping off.
Was Diogenes like a philosopher or what was he?
Yeah,
yeah.
but he was like after
You would like him. He gave no.
he was like after Plato and Aristotle.
Yeah.
He was in the Hellenic time.
Alexander, 19, and it's funny.
So when he marched down with his father south, and then Philip II, big shout out, the goat.
You think Philip II is the goat?
I mean, he
He
did
kind of is though.
massive reforms to the Macedonian army.
Should we
he
just
was
change
raised-
our podcast to ancient.
Yeah, ancient like history review.
Yeah.
I hate to break
Antiquity.
this up, but I think we hit time. So, but now at least we have something juicy to sink our teeth
Damn,
in
you're
next
cutting
time.
off the Philip II talk.
Guys,
I'm
like
sorry.
Greek history.
Just,
I'm
when-
sorry.
Just
when
take a
to
course
pop
on
off.
that. They'll explain it much better than I.
I feel like a lot of people would love to listen to you. Anyway, you want to end up the show, Isaac?
Ooga booga booga booga. Final words.
Thank you guys for having me on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on, Yassine.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can do many more.
Yeah.
Me and
Right.
Aaron are gonna start an antiquity podcast about ancient Greece.
My mom really wants me to go home and eat food.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Bye bye.